Well, thinking about care homes for the future, the way I'd like to be treated, obviously, is kindly, but although I identify as queer or bisexual, I wouldn't want to be in a home just for women. I like being in mixed places, men and women. But I also would like people not to, I can't explain it, it's so hard to explain, not to be so talking about heterosexual stuff all the time. Um, and have you got any grandchildren? Are they married? Have they got a boyfriend? If they're a girl, or if they're a boy, have they got a girlfriend? I think people would need training to know how to talk to people that are gay or bisexual or the alphabet, really.
Well, I do hope that I will go into, if I need residential care, then I will go into an ordinary daycare, or ordinary residential care rather than a specific one, because I know there's ideas, particularly in America, where they have exclusive LGBT residential care. Now, I've never believed in that because I don't think you pursue the idea of integration by separating. It's sort of almost like orientational apartheid.
My hope is that I'll die before I need care, because I don't see care in a very good light anymore. I remember when I first came to this country, I used to go home regularly ranting and raving about Britain and what a brilliant country it was, and I watched all that being really broken apart, the weave of care, the weave of the whole of social care being unravelled. So I feel apprehensive, I feel fear, because I don't know that there will be care for everyone.
I just want them to treat me, as a person, and look past barriers and titles, but also accept the fact that my life might be a bit different from theirs.
I want there to be proper education of staff in care homes so that they are trained out of that heteronormative behaviour and treat people as individuals.
I'd like them to think, well, I'd like them to have liked their parents, so that when they look at me, they think, how would I feel if that was my mum? How would I feel if somebody spoke to her as I am about to speak to her? And to just take that time, that moment. I'd like them to think of us as their friends, their elderly friends. I'd like a care home in which the residents have some sort of democratic say, where we're not ruled by some, faceless management, and where we can sit down and talk with staff, from management right down to the cleaners, and work out between us how best to do things, and for residents to even say, well, how we got nothing to do, why don't we help? And for there to be that give and take.
If I thought there was homophobic stuff going on in the care home, then I would hope that they would be taken in and told how to behave, but with training. They should be trained anyway in diversity.
Well, I think this is where the biggest problem lies, because I think a lot of the people who live in residential care have grown up in a time where they had very anti-gay feelings, and I know that this is probably the big problem that I would get, sort of homophobic attitudes, not necessarily from staff, but from other people in the care home, which I think is still a big problem, and I haven't really worked out how to deal with that. But I certainly don't want to be forced back in the closet by other residents in the home.
I'd like there to be enough understanding amongst other residents of the fact that sexuality is a continuum, and perhaps something that would help is having such an open relationship with each other and with staff. I'd like there to be a number of LGBT people. I wouldn't want to be the only one. And for there to be LGBT staff. Now, that's no guarantee. There's no guarantee you're going to get on with somebody just because they're LGBT. But that said, I think I would feel much more comfortable, for example, having care by women, and knowing that at least some of those women are lesbians, and they understand, for example, when my partner comes to visit, that I need my space, with her. Throughout, I guess I would like respect. In fact, I think I would expect respect, and expect to give respect as well.
So if I was in a care home and my son and his husband visited, then I would expect them to be treated the same as any other people there, any like heterosexual couples, and treated kindly and with great pleasure, you know, because it's a happy union, same as anybody else's.
I'd want them to be treated as people of value to me, and that what is of value to me should matter.
And I think it's important that staff treat any visitors that I have in a gender-neutral way, not treating them as if they were, say, brother or son or father, but more like whoever they are. So, or their own identity, because that's what I would want to be treated at, and I would expect everybody who comes to visit me to be like that.
I think there might be some concerns for older people from the LGBT community as they get older, because if they're in a care home that's maybe more heterosexual people, they may want to get together, they may want to talk about gay stuff, not necessarily in the heterosexual world. So I think that would be really good if they could have some outlet for that.
Older people are perfectly capable of making decisions. And the fact that somebody is impaired by way of illness, disability, impairment, should not preclude them from representing themselves or being represented by an advocate. The first thing that's missing is this conversation. I think this is the first time I've come across anybody talking about care for older LGBT people. So I'm very grateful to you for inviting me to speak, because yes, our generation is now getting, I'm from 1955, so I'm bang in the middle of the 50s. We're starting now to think, we're starting to lose our parents. Some of us already have. And so that is starting for us the whole process of thinking, what am I going to do when I am in that position? The LGBT scene was originally not designed, it came together for young people to meet, for young people to have fun, to be gay. None of us think we're going to get old. None of us. And the scene itself doesn't appear to really cater for older people. So maybe that's part of what we could start to do, to start talking with the LGBT scene, with the LGBT circles, about older people, about welcoming older people, about inviting their older friends, and inviting them into a conversation.
But I am out and I'm not ashamed of my sexuality, and I want to continue living my life in that way. It's not up to me to make changes to suit other people. It's probably up to other people to make changes to suit me.